Yes, a warm welcome back to Classic Dirt Bike TV, and also welcome to the Scottish Grand National Scramble right here at Drumlanrig Castle. Yes, hello to you all once again, and thanks for joining me here on Classic Dirt Bike TV, and a very warm welcome to the 2022 Scottish Grand National Scramble that was held at the absolutely fantastic Drumlanrig Castle near Thornhill, near the Scottish borders. Now, this year's event is a 4-day extravaganza that started on the Thursday the 16th of June right through to the 19th of June on the Sunday, but there was so much going on over the course of the 4 days at this event, with things like a bike trial on the Sunday, and of course the classic scramble on both the Saturday and the Sunday, and in between, of course, we also had a grass track race on the Friday night, and some lawnmower racing as well thrown in just for a bit of fun. But as you can see, the paddock was already nearly filled to capacity, and this was early Friday morning when these pictures were taken, with more spectators and riders expected to turn up for the Sunday's race programme. Now, that's the start line there, and a 40-gate start line, and just about every gate was filled to capacity in each of the classes. And it's all sponsored, of course, and operated by the Galloway Motorcycle Club. Now, this will be the 4th running of this Drumlanrig event, and for me personally, my second visit since 2017, when it was inaugurated by the Scottish Classic Motorcycle Racing Club in that year. But nowadays, of course, it's all thanks to the likes of Fraser Dykes and his AMD contract hire company, and of course the Galloway Motorcycle Racing Club and its many sponsors, that we've now secured this fantastic venue to hold another Drumlanrig Classic Scramble. Now, of course, part of the attractions here at the 2022 Drumlanrig event, we not only have one guest of honour this year, but 3. And it's all thanks to the Galloway Motorcycle Club again that they've managed to secure possibly the cream of world motocross from back in the day. So spectators and others were absolutely delighted to see the likes of American legend Brad Lackey, Belgian rider Roger de Coster there, and also, of course, the Flying Finn himself, Heikki Mikkola. Yes, Roger de Coster, an absolute racing legend from back in the day. I think Roger won 5 world motocross titles during his career, but he's always referred to as the man when it comes to world motocross. Brad Lackey again, the winner of the 1982 500cc world motocross title, and Brad is still the only American to achieve the 500cc status. But back in the day, of course, Brad rode for many factories, including Kawasaki, Husqvarna, Honda and Suzuki. And it was actually quite soon after he won that world title that Suzuki then scaled back their racing efforts for the following year and left Brad without a sponsor, which is when he decided to retire. But look at that picture there. We have Fraser Dykes on the left, Brad Lackey next, and Roger de Coster in the middle there, with Heikki Mikkola and Willie Brown on the extreme right there. But guys getting their pictures taken in front of the famous Drumlanrig Castle. But you have to hand it to the Galloway Motorcycle Club for securing these 3 motocross superstars for this 2022 event. And of course, as is traditional here at this Drumlanrig Castle event. We have the opening ceremony, led of course by the Dumfries pipe band. These guys walk from the castle right into the circuit, where our guests of honour will be interviewed and let some of the adoring spectators take some pictures, whereby the 2022 Drumlanrig Castle Scramble event will then be officially open. Now, I wasn't exactly sure why the guys didn't play any music on their way down the hill, probably trying to save their puff for the long trek into the paddock. But it's certainly a grand sight that stirs the blood when you hear a pipe band strike up, especially when they're surrounded by these kind of historic Scottish monuments. So as you can see, the local Dumfries pipe band being led into the racing paddock by our three guests of honour, Heike, Mikola, Roger de Costa and Brad Lackey. Some of the spectators there getting their phones out to try and grab a few pictures of this iconic threesome of world motocross.
Here at Drumlanrig Castle. So let's have a big hand for the pipe band and a huge hand for Heike, Roger and Brad Lackey. A big hand for
Now our man on the microphone there, John McCrink, did have a few words with the three stars in the paddock, but unfortunately our outside PA system wasn't exactly the best, but later on Brad, Roger and of course Heike did have a chance to be interviewed in the large marquee after the racing on the Saturday, and it was a bit of a hoot to hear some of these guys' stories from back in the day. And so as we get the 2022 Drumlanrig Festival underway, now some of the other bits of entertainment that were on show at this year's Drumlanrig Festival were a display from the Scottish Lawnmower Racing Club, who brought along a few of their non-grass cutting ride-on mowers to supply a little bit of light entertainment for the assembled spectators prior, of course, to the big Saturday and Sunday's Scrambles event. So we're going to give them a few minutes of glory here and feature them as part of the Drumlanrig weekend. Now you're all probably out there saying to yourself, what the hell has lawnmower racing got to do with classic dirt bikes? And my answer to that would be absolutely nothing. But it's because these guys here were all part of the entertainment around the paddock over the weekend, so it's only right that we give them a little plug for all of their efforts. But basically, as far as I know, these are just your average everyday ride-on lawnmowers with most or all of their grass cutting attachments removed, because of course it wouldn't be a very safe environment if one of these things tipped upside down with massive blades turning at over 1,000 RPM. But from what I learned from some of the guys on the day, most of these mowers do have standard 400cc or just over 400cc four-stroke motors, which all have belt-driven transmissions. Now, to control the speed of the engine, the drivers have a cable-operated throttle control that's actually bolted onto the outside of the steering wheel, which I thought was quite a strange place to fix it, but as you can see, it looks like great fun. And because at this point in the day the track was absolutely soaking wet because of all the rain on the Friday, it all added to the fun of them slipping and sliding their way around the course. But who knows, maybe this is something that you may fancy having a go at if you've got an old grass cutter just lying around the shed doing absolutely nothing, because they do tell me that these old mowers are a cut above, or is that below? I'm not really sure, but it still seems like a bit of a hoot, but I'm not too sure about that suspension travel. If I was taking up this kind of sport, I would maybe have to fit a nice pair of Olins onto the back just to help my old aching body. But as you'd expect, these buggies have virtually no damping to speak of. Now, I don't have a list of any of the riders, or is that drivers of these rigs, but nevertheless I don't suppose they'll be too bothered about that, but they certainly provided some very good entertainment prior to the main event of the weekend. And coming up in my next video posting, we'll be taking a look at the racing from the Saturday night grass track event, which will be run on this very same track as these mowers, but of course the bikes that will be racing on the Saturday night are not exactly grass track bikes in that sense of the word. It's basically all of the classic and twin choke bikes that are taking part in the Saturday and Sunday's Scrambles event. So don't miss that footage, because it's quite fast and furious and great fun to watch, because they're quite short sprints of just 4 laps. So look out for the grass track, which will be coming up in my next video posting. But as I said, if you maybe fancy having a go at this yourself, you can just visit the Scottish Lawnmower Racing Association page on the World Wide Web, and you'll get all of the details about how to compete in this absolutely crazy racing formula. And as I said, this kind of obscure form of racing is not really something that I would normally post here on Classic Dirt Bike TV, but as I said, because these guys were all part of the entertainment package over the Drumlanrig 2022 weekend, they certainly deserved to have their 10 minutes or 15 minutes of fame here on my channel. And these guys on their buggy lawnmowers were just one part of the many activities that were taking place over the 4 days of the 2022 Drumlanrig Castle event, and there was certainly something for absolutely everybody here at this year's show, and there was even plenty to do for the kids as well to keep them occupied. Now, just to change things around a little, the guys decided to go counter-clockwise round the track just to make sure that nobody had an advantage going in the clockwise direction. But as you can see, they're great fun to ride these little things, but it looks like it could be quite sore on the back if you hit a bump. But as I said, there's plenty footage still to come here on my channel from this Drumlanrig Castle event, with the grass track racing the next video up, and then we'll also take a walk around the paddock and then check out some of those superb classic dirt bikes before we then get down to all of the racing action on the track from the Saturday and Sunday's Scrambles races. And there's some fantastic racing from both of those days to come, so make sure that you don't miss out on that. But of course, you can simply subscribe to my channel to be sure of not missing out, because when you subscribe, you'll be notified immediately every time I upload a brand new video. And of course, the best part of subscribing is that it doesn't cost you a penny, which is like every other part of my Classic Dirt Bike TV. It's all free and gratis. But these guys certainly brightened up a wet afternoon here at Drumlanrig with their antics on the racetrack with their crazy lawnmower rig. So that was the SLMRA boys doing their stuff on the track, the Scottish Lawnmower Racing Association. But certainly good entertainment on what was quite a wet afternoon. But these guys of the SLMRA were certainly good value for entertainment, and these guys were filling in the break times between the classic racing on the track, and certainly provide some good entertainment for the assembled spectators. So there you go, that's the first of many videos from the 2022 Drumlanrig Castle weekend. Now next up, it's all about the racing from the Friday evening fun grass track event. Now this is absolutely brilliant to watch, so make sure that you don't miss it. But once again, thanks for tuning in, and if you like what you see here on Classic Dirt Bike TV, then hit that like button, or better still, just subscribe to my channel, and that way you'll be notified immediately every time I upload a video. So anyhow, I do hope you'll return to my channel next time to see all of the quick fire action from the Friday evening grass track. But thanks again for taking the time to watch CDB TV. So from the 2022 Scottish Classic Grand National Scramble at Drumlanrig Castle, it's bye for now.